Hello, Firefox has recently brought total cookie protection into their stable. How this is going to matter? Well, do you know how companies use cookies to track your online interactions and behavior? Let us briefly discuss about cookies and this new feature Firefox is bringing, total cookie protection. And welcome to this channel. Cookies are basically tiny little files used for storing information in your web browsers like Chrome, Safari, etc. One of the important use of a cookie is to store your login information into any website. That means once you enter your credentials to a website like Facebook and then you click on login, and then a request is sent to the server and your request is validated. If it is successful, server sends back a cookie as well to your browser. Once you're logged in, then when you click on a next page in Facebook itself, this time browser need to know if you're logged in. So browser go back to the cookie and checks if you're logged in. If it wasn't for cookies, you would have to log in every time you click on a new page in Facebook. Imagine how horrendous that would be. Cookies are also used to store your user preferences. For example, in your Google search, by default when you search, we get say 10 results per page. But we can configure that. We can make it to 20, we can make it to 50. And the next time when you search again, you would get what is the change to value. If you have changed it to 50, you would get 50 results in one page. This information is stored using a cookie. Useful, right? Again, cookies were used in enhancing the user experience in a website. For example, when you go to a shopping site, something like Amazon, once you log in, you would see products similar to your previous search. Like the last time when you have logged in, if you have checked out a particular product, you would see similar recommendations in your feed. These websites can track your clicking behavior, your searching behavior, or your interest in a particular product. They store all this information in cookies to help you with a better experience as you browse the website. Again, useful, right? Things are fine till this point. Now, how do companies use cookies to track you in the online world? As we discussed, cookies are stored by web browsers. Only the cookie stored by a particular website can access to the same cookie. For example, Facebook can access its own cookies, the cookies set by Facebook. Now imagine you're on a different website, say a shopping website, something different from Facebook, right? Now the cookies set by this particular website are not accessible to Facebook. Also, the cookies of Facebook are not accessible by our shopping site. But have you seen those little like or share buttons in different websites you visit? Maybe it's a blog or it's a shopping website where you can share particular product with your Facebook feed. Those little buttons which are placed in a different website. So those little buttons are provided by Facebook. To place those buttons in this shopping website or blog, they have to contact Facebook server. While connecting to the server, those little buttons place a cookie on this shopping website as well, or the blog. Now this helps Facebook to track your activity in this particular site as well. Those cookies placed by Facebook on our blog or shopping site are called third-party cookies. And for Facebook, this is one way of injecting a third-party cookie into a different websites. So as many websites they can have these cookies, the tracking would be as efficient as much as they can. So that's about Facebook. Now, what about Google? This is easier for Google since everyone wants to place ads on their websites. So whoever places those Google ad snippets into their website, Google can easily place a third-party cookie into those websites as well. Now, next time you see a tweet button on a blog post, that's how Twitter does this. Enhanced tracking protection. Sometime back, web browsers took an initiative about this. Browsers like Mozilla Firefox, Apple Safari, Brave, they have introduced a new feature to block third-party cookies. This ensured the safety to a higher level, but still some of these third-party cookies needs to be allowed or the websites crashed in certain cases. This was a couple of years back, and then sometime later Mozilla again came up with another brilliant solution to this called containers. How this worked, how the containers worked, Mozilla built something called Facebook container, and whenever you open Facebook, it would be open in that particular container and the cookies would be stored in that container only. So this Facebook does not have access to other cookies, only the cookies stored in the Facebook container. So apps like, even websites like Instagram, also if you take that, would still open in the same container. It should ensure the tracking is disabled into a higher level again. Now, similarly, we can have different number of containers for your different purposes. Maybe you want to open all your Google stuff into a different container, so you can create a container for that. If you want all your work stuff in a different container, then all of those websites goes into a different container. Now it seems Firefox is bringing this solution to all the websites we visit, as in every different website will have a separate container. So while announcing this in their blog post, they have shown an interesting picture. Left side, in the first picture, what happened before this feature. All the cookies were stored in a common jar, as in a common place, and Facebook can access their own different cookies from different websites. The cookies they have strategically placed in different websites for tracking. Now when we come to the second picture, as in after this total cookie protection is enabled, every website is going to get a separate jar, as in a separate containers. The Facebook, for example, Facebook's third-party cookies in a different websites, a shopping website or a blog goes to their own respective jars, and those containers are only usable by that particular website. This would solve our problems to a great extent for now, and I'm sure they are doing research on how to improve this protection. This is definitely one step towards a safer and non-tracking internet, and I would definitely recommend you to try this Firefox browser out. In the latest update, which is released on June 1st, they have improved the UI to something called Firefox Proton UI, and it looks much better as well. More features, more options. Definitely try this out, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you in another one. Bye bye.